What's up, everybody? It's your boy Stevie the Black, STEVEE, the Black. I'm back, and it's finally time. It's time for me to give my review of Wrestlemania 14. As you guys know, I was really excited. I was hyped up. Did the show live up to the hype? We're about to find out. Here we go. So, WrestleMania 14 kicks off with the 15-man tag team battle royal. All 14 teams are in the ring, and we're just waiting on the last one. And the last team turns out to be the LOD, who looks like they're being managed by Sunny right now, it looks like. So they're back. They got different looks and everything. It's great. So, here's the problem that I have. First of all, let me just say this. So the match goes on. LOD wins, and the winners, since you won the battle royal, they get an opportunity against the Raw Tag Team Champions at Unforgiven, right? So LOD wins. And I thought the match was pretty good. I gave it a 3 out of 5, right? Here's my problem with the match concept. I don't have a problem with it being a battle royal, but the problem I do have is that if one of your teammates, if your teammate gets thrown over the top rope, that means you're both eliminated. That doesn't really make any sense. The concept should be, which they later do now, is if you get thrown out, your partner's still in the ring, which means he still has an opportunity to win the match for you. Otherwise, what's the point of having both team members in the ring? You can say, oh, well, they can watch my back. Okay, yeah, I guess. But still, the opportunity should be, oh, if you get tossed out, don't worry. I got your back. I got you. We will win this. But they didn't do that. They're doing that now, which is great. But then they weren't, so I think that was dumb. But I gave it a 3 out of 5. Next up, we had Taka Michinoku taking on Aguila for the light heavyweight championship. This match wasn't very long, but I think it was maybe 6-7 minutes. But in that 6-7 minutes, it was very good. It was a very entertaining match. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I was very entertained. Very good match. Next up, we had Triple H taking on Owen Hart for the European Championship. Sergeant Slaughter handcuffs Chyna to himself so that way she can't interfere in the match. So Owen Hart comes in there and he's going after Triple H, and he's getting on his excuse me, and he's going after him. He's getting him early on and stuff like that. But obviously Triple H is prevailing. And Chyna, she keeps trying to interfere, but she's handcuffed to Sergeant Slaughter, so she can't do anything. The also story in this is that Owen Hart, he injured his foot or whatever, and he just took his cast off that day. See, here's the one problem that I have with WWE, how they book their baby faces, right? And I guess I get it. They're like, you're trying to teach a lesson, I guess, to the kids or whatever of, if you try and stand up for yourself and all that stuff. But if you're injured, there's no shame in saying, nah, not today. I'm going to wait until I'm healed, and then me and you can go at it. But because he was stupid and wanted to fight for pride, I guess, last week, or 2 weeks ago, rather, Owen Hart, he battles Triple H for the European title. He loses it because of his injury, and now Triple H is the champion. So now they're fighting for that in a rematch. And again, match is pretty good, back and forth. And even though I'm sitting here and I'm rooting for Owen to win, I'm like, come on, Owen. And then eventually the referee gets distracted enough to where Chyna is able to get some, I guess, powder or chalk or whatever, and throw it in Sergeant Slaughter's face to uppercut, low blow Owen Hart, which then allows Triple H to pedigree him and win the match. I was just like, bro, no. See, that's how you know. I gave this match a 5 out of 5. And then that's how you know when you're invested in something. When this is old and it's not live and it has nothing to do with what's going on right now, but the fact that you're just like, no, Owen, you were so close, only for him to lose it. That's how you know it was great. And then afterwards, Chyna beats up Sergeant Slaughter some more. It's crazy, man. That 5 out of 5. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was really, really good. Next up, we have Mark Merrill and Sable taking on Luna and Goldust in a mixed tag team match. I gave it a, what did I give it? I gave it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was pretty good. Obviously, the story is Luna and Sable want to get at each other, but every time Sable gets in the ring, Luna's running away. Which most of the match, it's Sable, Mark Merrill, and Goldust. Sable gets in a few shots in on Goldust every now and then, but eventually the match ends when they get the hot tag. Sable comes in, she gives the TKO, I think it's called, which is Mark Merrill's move, to Luna to win the match. She looked really good doing it. I thought this is where the breakup was coming between the two of them, because Sable was like, Mark Merrill was acting like he the one that won the match, but he I guess he was happy that he won, and it was his move. But Sable was like, nah, get away from me, and he's like, come on, and so they walked out together. So I guess that means they're still together right for now. I know they're breaking up, I just don't know when. So when it comes, we'll see. And unfortunately, here's where the downside of WrestleMania comes, man. And I'm not happy about this, but we got to talk about it. And so here we go. So we get The Rock versus Ken Shamrock for the Intercontinental Championship. The match didn't last very long. As a matter of fact, Ken Shamrock, he won. He made The Rock tap out, right? But then, here is the part that really bothers me. So Ken Shamrock wins, right? The Nation come in because they're outside, except for Farouk. Ken takes them all out, and then he puts the ankle hold lock back on The Rock. So The Rock's tapping out, he's screaming. Then Farouk comes out, right? And he's like he's going to come and help The Rock, but instead he doesn't, and he leaves, leaving The Rock there. And Shamrock still still has the lock on The Rock, hold on him, and so then the referee is like, he rings the bell, right, and he goes, the referee has reversed his decision. Ken Shamrock, The Rock is still the Intercontinental Champion, and we're just like, what? So not only is that dumb, but then Ken Shamrock starts taking out the referees and stuff, and then he goes after and beats up The Rock again some more, and I'm like, so basically his character is, you don't know when he's going to snap, but when he snaps, he is uncontrollable. And I think that is just so dumb. The best revenge is taking what The Rock holds most from him, which is what? The Intercontinental Championship. You did that. You won. Why you had to keep holding on to him and attacking referees and cost yourself the belt, I don't know. But that was so dumb to me. I don't understand it. And that's why I had to give, what I give it? I gave it a 2 out of 5 because that was just ridiculous. That was all unnecessary, and it didn't make any sense whatsoever. Next up, we had the New Age Outlaws taking on Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie for the Tag Team Championship in a dumpster match, which is basically a casket match but with a dumpster. I was expecting some craziness and some awesomeness to, showcase, but I didn't really get any of that. That's probably because Chainsaw's old. I think at the time he was like 54, so there's not much you can really do with him. But I think the high spot of the match for me was when both Cactus Jack and I think it was Billy Gunn, who were on the ladder, Road Dogg hits Chainsaw Charlie in the face and he knocks the ladder over and they both fall into the dumpster, right? But eventually this goes into the back where they're able to knock out both Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, and they put him on a forklift. The forklift puts him up and dumps him into a different dumpster, and then they put the forklift on top of the crate lift thing on the forklift on top of the dumpster, so they can't get out. Therefore, they win the match. The match was fine for what it was. I thought I was expecting some craziness to go on, but that did not happen, and so yeah, kind of disappointing. But I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. Not because the match, it's just because I was expecting so much more craziness and stuff, and didn't really get that. So next, We had Kane versus The Undertaker. First off, so Pete Rose comes out. He's bragging, telling Boston fans they suck and their team suck and will never win titles. Kane comes out. He tombstones Pete Rose. And then The Undertaker comes out and his one of the most awesome entrances I've ever seen. When WrestleMania is definitely The Undertaker show, man. He only obviously with the streak, but with his entrances that he have are always so epic and awesome. I think my favorite one is from WrestleMania 29, where he comes out and you see all the hands try to like get him like souls or whatever. I think that's like one of the coolest entrances that I've ever seen him do. But the match, oh my god, the match was not very good, and I really wanted it to be, and it was not good. I understand why people say it was such a disappointment because the build was great, but the match was just not very good at all. Oh my goodness. I'm just like, how is this even possible? But it was. I mean, it took Undertaker 3 tombstones, and 2 of the tombstones looked very, very sloppy. I don't know if that was Kane's fault. I don't know if it was Taker's fault, but the match just was not very good. So after the 3rd tombstone, Taker wins. Kane kicks out at 3, but it doesn't matter. Then Paul Bearer and Kane beat up The Undertaker afterwards, and that's the match. So it's not over, but I was very disappointed. I was hoping it was going to be a great match, and it just was not. So I had to give it a 2 out of 5, and that really hurt me more than anything else. And then finally, we had Shawn Michaels taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin for the WWF Championship. Man, very early on, Shawn was getting beat up, man. Like, he was getting beat up. Even the commentators, JR and Jim, JR and Lawler were talking about his back. So obviously, it's well known at this point. And you could tell that he was in pain. He was still putting on a pretty good match. It was more of a brawl than typical Shawn Michaels match. But I mean, you know, and so here's the weird thing. They did not say. I did not hear them say that the match was no disqualification, right? But you can clearly see Triple H attacks Stone Cold right in front of the referee, and they do more and beat him up, him in China. So it's like, okay, that should be a disqualification, right? But instead of a disqualification, they get thrown out, and then the referee's telling both of them, hey, you guys need to get back in the ring, I'm going to count you out. So why are you out there? Why don't you just count them out? It was very, very confusing. And so they're fighting on the outside near the stage where DX played at, and then they come back and they're fighting some more. And then they're saying, they gotta be careful or they're gonna get disqualified. That's what JR and them are saying. And I'm like, okay, but Triple H attacked him right in front of the ref. Shouldn't that be a disqualification? You know, they're not listening to the rules, you know? So it was very, very weird. But in the end, they got back in the ring. Eventually, the referee gets knocked out. Shawn tries hitting the Sweet Chin Music, doesn't work. Austin hits the stunner. Mike Tyson comes in, 1, 2, 3. He helps Austin win the title. Shawn wakes up. He's like, and he sees Mike Tyson with the Austin shirt, and he's like, "Whoa, what are you doing? I thought you were with us. Well, come on, man, what's up?" But it was all a trick. Mike Tyson ends up knocking out Shawn, and that's the last we're ever going to see Shawn again until 2002. And I'm really, really sad about that, man. I'm really, really sad about that. I'm gonna miss Shawn, man. Shawn, I'm gonna miss Shawn. That was because. I'm gonna miss Shawn, bro. I'm not gonna see Shawn wrestle again until 2002. What do we? 1998, 99, 2000, 2001. 4 years. I'm not gonna see him for 4 years. Oh man, that's a long time, and I got a long way to go before we get there. But yeah, I ended up giving the match a 3 out of 5. The Austin era has begun. Watching Raw this week is going to be very interesting. Austin is the champ. I think that's when he gets the new belt, the big blue belt, you know, with the big one, the one I associate with the Attitude Era. So, here we go. We're in full force now. Final grade for WrestleMania 14, I'm going to have to give it a C. WrestleMania 14 started off really, really strong with 3 great matches. Then you had an okay match, but then like the final 3 out of the 4 final matches, they were really, really disappointing. Whether it was dumb decisions, whether it was a dumb match, or it was very confusing of what the rules were in the championship match. But I had to give it a C. I was expecting a little bit more, but I didn't get that. So, but it's okay. next month, Unforgiven. Interesting to see where this thing goes. Here we go. So with that being said, that's pretty much about it. So I will catch you guys for my Raw review. And if you're not down with that, I've just got 2 words for you. Peace out, and I'll catch you guys later.